So hi guys, it's Joseph Noble here, and we're back. LeslieBeth Wish is the other side of the camera, psychotherapist and clinical therapist. And when all this crazy lockdown is lifted, I'm going to have her over here in the UK, and she's going to get very famous here. Today we've got a very interesting topic: why it's not a good idea to have sex too soon in a relationship. So I'm going to hand straight over to LB, and she's going to explain why and what that's all about. I'm not going to say anything about my past history, less about that, but I really want to hear.
You can say, we won't tell.
We won't tell.
That's right.
So I'm going to hand over to LB, and she's going to explain why it's better to wait. Okay, and that's a notification coming up. Sorry about these little things, but this is live. It happens, so just go with it. And thanks for tuning in, by the way. So over to LB. I'm going to be quiet.
Now, thank you again for listening to our discussions. And we both hope that they're helping you a lot, because we don't just invent these topics and say, let's talk about this. We get requests. So please, if you have a question, no question is too big or too small. Just if it's something bothering you, the chances are it's bothering thousands and thousands of other people too. So please go to my website, lovevictory.com. If you sign up on the right side with your name, you'll get free books, but then you'll be able to contact me and send me an email with your questions. We can't take all of them, but we're trying, okay? So let's talk about something that not just women, but men also think about. What really is wrong, if anything, about having sex on the first few dates? So let's forget about, well, I wouldn't say forget, let's put aside, we'll put it way off there, any issues that your culture or your family or your religion has given you about sex. Let's leave out judgment for a minute, okay? Let's just forget about, is it a bad or a good thing? I'm talking about why it's not a wise thing to do. That's more important and more potent, because that is going to either impede or open and inform your judgment. Because let's think about what happens with good sex, or even good enough sex, okay? It activates your hormones that make you feel good. So pretty soon you're already looking at this person after having, a good or wonderful or good enough sexual encounter. This is what it does to your judgment. You can't see anything anymore. You can't see the person's quirks. You aren't able to detect little nuances because you've got blinders on. You can't see anything. So why would you want to know nothing about a person or have cloudy judgment about a person? I don't know I don't know very many people who've never had heartache. It's really awful. It's a terrible experience. It messes with your mind. You feel like you can't trust your judgment. You can't trust yourself. You're embarrassed that you've done things that you didn't think you would do. I mean, it really messes with your stability. You begin to feel like the Leaning Tower of Pisa that you can't believe is still standing after all these generations. So we don't want you to tip over and do the dumbest thing in the world, which is swearing off dating. Because dating is your training ground. That's how you learn about you. That's how you learn how to trust your judgment, so you don't have those blinders on. So let's think about it this way. It's a choice. Have sex too soon when you hardly know the person and the person hardly knows important things about you. And then your brain gets all foggy. It's loaded with endorphins. You're not seeing clearly. You might not even feel very comfortable about having sex so soon. Does this person like me? Do I even like them? Why do that? Meeting someone who might be a good life partner for you is hard enough. Don't make it worse. So this has nothing to do with judgment, social norms, or religion, or whether you're a good or bad person. Forget that. That's not the core of what we're talking about.
Sure. And what would your advice be for the whole kind of virtual world? Because obviously, here in the UK, we're still basically on lockdown for like another month. I know a lot of people are kind of meeting virtually and having virtual dates. I don't quite know how that plays out, but it's very interesting. Are people kind of exposing parts of themselves?
Yes, they are.
Oh,
They are.
really? Okay. So
They're
what would
getting
you say?
naked. That's right. Don't have virtual sex. Please don't do that. That why it's not real. It'll activate some real feelings, but you won't really know whether you can trust them. That's like being showing photographs of a house that you want to buy or photos of a condo or an apartment you might rent and going ahead with it and signing on the dotted line without being there for real. Oh my goodness, you can make almost any condo, any apartment, any flat, any home look wonderful. So you're only going to be seeing that much of a person, okay? Yes, you will see something about that person. You might see how patient or caring they are. You might see how fun they are. You might see whether it's slam bam and I'm now going to watch my TV show kind of person, Um, but it won't give you really a larger and more real sense as to who they are. And why would you volunteer to do something that has the greatest possibility of making you feel uncomfortable or regretful?
Yeah. And do you think in the last, I don't know, 20, 30 years, people are quicker and quicker and quicker to get to that point of a relationship
Yes,
than past generations? Do you think
yes.
that's anything to do with the fact that it seems to be that relationships are lasting less long and, marriages are breaking down? Do you think it's because we're all getting to that point too soon? Or are people just less patient generally? Or what do you think that is basically from your
It's
experience?
everything you've said.
Mm,
People are lonely. They just
yeah,
are. It's hard. It's not even good for your health to be alone, unless, of course, the person you're with is also not good for your health, like an abuser or someone who denigrates you. Yes, it's far healthier to be alone than to be with someone like that. But we are lonely. We tend to function best when we find a partner who helps us with things that we're not good at, and you help your partner with things that he or she isn't good at, and put together you form a very strong team. That's the goal, to be a team together, so that what you might not be able to do because you don't have those traits, your partner has those traits. So you bring yourselves together and you've got really more than a handful of things that you need to have to get through life. That's the goal, not to be lined up where you're exactly the same. Look at those spaces in between my fingers. But now you've got someone who has some complementary skills. You're not going to know anything about that when your hormones and your endorphins are raging and you feel like, I'm in love, or who is this person? What did I do? Why did I do this? They don't know anything about me. So why would you risk that? Check your desperation loneliness quotient. And right now, understandably, on lockdown, it's pretty high. We all need to be touched. And if you don't have a pet to play with and touch you, or family members to hug, it's really tough. We need that tactile stimulation. So when you are with your friends, give them a hug. If you are lucky enough to have a pet that hugs you, hug back. That's very important. It will lower that sense of feeling that you're not whole anymore, that you're not feeling very happy, that you're missing out on something. And not being touched over a long period of time can make you very depressed.
absolutely. And I think the whole kind of topic of mental health as we ease out of this crazy year that everyone's experienced, It's going to be a big topic, mental health amongst all of us. I know here in the
Yes,
UK, up to the age of 45, you know, the rates of suicide are mostly men, and it's so
very
sad.
high. Yes.
And I doubt this has really helped the last year since March of 2020. When we do meet someone and we've got this attraction and these hormones and these emotions that want to connect, that want to experience that headiness, how do we redirect those emotions and feelings and sexual drives in a more positive way that's not going to jeopardize an early relationship or a relationship that we're just starting? How do we, what do we do with those feelings, in other words, and those hormones?
It's okay to have those feelings. You want to have those feelings for a potential partner. I'm just asking you to roll it back a little bit. You want to be able to have two separate things going on at the same time. All those great feelings, your sexual feelings, your feelings of hope, your feelings of, oh, wow, I think I found someone. But you also want to keep on that thinking cap. I should have brought a little brain thing, but a little thinking cap that you want to keep on so that you have a sense of being in the moment, but also keeping things in your mind. And it could be small things like, oh my goodness, he doesn't treat the waitstaff very nicely. Is he someone who feels superior? Pay attention to those things. You can't do that very well when your hormones have hijacked your brain. They really do impair your vision and make you skew towards the positive. Don't do that. You want to stay neutral, okay? Not negative or positive. You want to keep your brain open to seeing and your heart open to being able to be open enough to be with someone. And those are two really hard things to do at the same time. And that's why if you're feeling those sexual feelings instantly, quickly, please don't go back to each other's flat if you can possibly meet in person. If you can meet in person, go. Hotel lobbies are open till all hours. Go sit in the lobby or some all night, cafe, or sometimes all, in the lobbies of hotels there, they've got a coffee bar or something. Go there. They're not going to kick you out of the lobby. You can sit and talk. You can talk till 3 o'clock in the morning if you wanted to. Just get careful. Slow it down. You can always speed things up, but it's really hard to unspeed them. It's really hard to say, maybe we shouldn't have had that sex. Could we just kind of chill it for a while and just hang out? And some couples are really good at navigating that if, and this is a big if, each person has those kinds of feelings for the other. It ain't gonna work when one person thinks, well, that wasn't so great, I'm moving on.
Yeah, we end up feeling rejected, and then you kind of feel like,
and you don't know what happened. And then you go, oh man, why did I do that? Then you risk beating yourself up. And then what you do when you beat yourself up for not having, it's not self-control so much, just being dating smarts. I can always have sex with this person if they're good for me. So why jump the gun and do it now when it is definitely going to cloud your brain, possibly dash your hopes, but definitely blind you for a while emotionally. So why not take these measures? You can always have sex, but you can't unhave sex once it's happened. I mean, it's out there, right? So I don't want you to hide, right? This is a little turtle. I don't want you to hide and not take a chance, because love requires taking chances, right? Are they going to accept me? Am I known? Are we a good match? You have to do that. You kind of have to take off that little shell. But you also don't want to jump into sex to hide your feelings of loneliness or to think you're going to cure them. Sex is not medicine.
wow, sex is not medicine. Should be a title of a book somewhere. For a lot of people, it's new territory to kind of slow that down.
Yes.
So I know
Yes.
guys are kind of usually associated with the gender that wants to get there really soon. But as you were saying earlier, LB, that women now are matching the men for, okay, let's just get on with it. Take me home now.
Yes.
It used to be that the guy was associated with wanting to push for that, and the woman would be feeling uncomfortable with the pressure. But it's quite interesting that perhaps things are evening out
Yes.
amongst
Yes.
the genders, right?
I agree. Some men really do want to fall in love. They don't want to be hormoned into feelings of love. They don't. They don't want that either. I mean, most men may not say it or even know it about themselves. And a lot of people don't know it about men either, but they too want to feel loved and to be loving. We're human beings. There aren't that many differences in the brain between male and female. We're humans. And look at primates. Primates select partners and they want to feel, maybe they don't understand the concept of love, but connected. They choose someone. And it isn't always chosen through sex. So the last thing I'll leave you with is one of the first things we said in the beginning. Don't volunteer to be emotionally blind.
Woo! Take those rose-colored spectacles off, or keep them off. Don't put them on yet, right?
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, LB. Again, her website is lovevictory.com. That's all one word, lovevictory.com. Get on the website, download the free books, ask questions. You can,
please.
Yes, absolutely. You can meet with LB one-to-one. She has letters after her name. I'm just the host. I'm learning a lot of things here on these videos that we do. Perhaps just go back to being a bit more old-fashioned, when mum and dad or their parents, your grandparents met. They didn't suddenly, go day one. They waited a bit. And let's go back to the good old days, because those marriages, in my mind, seem to have lasted longer, the generations way back. Maybe they were doing something right that the modern relationship isn't doing right. So, anyway, that's just my thoughts. Thank you for joining, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.